Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to be looking into today is a missing persons case from 1999. It's the case of Mikelle Biggs. She was 11 when she vanished, and she was literally gone in 90 seconds because that is when her sister last saw her, nipped away for 90 seconds, left her on her own, and that was it. She was vanished. She had vanished. So let's jump into this case. Mikelle Biggs was born on the 31st of May in 1987 to Darian and Tracy Biggs. She was the eldest of their 4 children, and the family lived in Mesa in Arizona. Now, the person that takes place in this story as well is her sister Kimber. She was the youngest of the family and was only 9 when her sister went missing. Basically, Mikelle went missing at the age of 11. So she was very, very young herself. Well, both of them were. But, you know, she recalls certain aspects of it. Well, she recalls a lot of it, to be honest. It's just a heartbreaking case. Mikelle really loved to draw. She absolutely loved it. She actually wanted, when she grew up, to become a Disney animator, which is just amazing. She was also very smart as well, very intelligent. Her sister said that she got straight A's in school, you know, and she was just such a lovely little girl who just loved life and loved being a child and enjoying themselves. So now let's get forward to the 2nd of January in 1999, and this is the fateful day where she literally vanished off of the face of the earth. It was quite cold in Arizona, but, you know, the kids, they're resilient. They didn't really care. They were outside. They were playing around. Like I said, Mikelle was with Kimber. They were out on the street having a laugh, playing around, and what they normally did would be like jump from neighbour to neighbour and go into each other's houses, things like that. Anyway, whilst the girls were playing, I believe they were playing on the bike. At least Mikelle was. I'm not entirely sure whether Kimber was as well. But they were outside having a laugh, and then they hear the chime of an ice cream van. Now, of course, everyone knows, like, you know, you hear that and you want an ice cream. Whether you're an adult, whether you're a kid, you want an ice cream. So the kids were no different. Oh my gosh, why can I not speak? They were no different. They wanted an ice cream. It wasn't very close to the house. They could hear it in the distance, but, you know, they were expecting it to come to their house, basically. So Kimber goes inside. She gets some money for the ice cream truck, comes back outside, and the girls continue to wait out there. However, it was getting dark. The ice cream truck still hadn't turned up, and it was, like I said already, freezing cold. So Kimber said to Mikelle that she's going to just nip inside and she's going to go and get her jacket. And Mikelle said that she would continue to wait outside for the truck to come. So that's what she did. Kimber goes inside. She basically tells her mum that they're waiting for the ice cream man. He's not come yet. Ice cream man, woman, whatever. That they haven't come yet, and she wanted to get a jacket because she was freezing cold. Well, her mother says, you know, it's like late and dark now and it's cold. Go and tell Mikelle to come inside. You know, forget about the ice cream. Tell her to come in. So she does. Literally, she was 90 seconds. It was worked out that is around about the time that she, from leaving her sister, going in the house, speaking to her mother about the jacket and whatnot, and coming back outside to shout Mikelle, was 90 seconds. And in that moment, she came back outside, she shouted her sister, no response. So she's looking around and she's like, what on earth? She looks to the left, looks to the right, and then she notices Mikelle's bike is on the pavement and one of the wheels is still spinning around. She is not there. It's on its side. You know, she's gone. So she looks around for a bit for her, can't find her, goes back inside to tell her mum. And her mum initially wasn't worried. As I said, it was very common for the girls to go to each other's houses, the neighbours' houses, etc. So that's what she thought she'd done. She honestly figured she was going to be across the neighbours. So she told Kimber, just go and check at the neighbours, she's probably there. They weren't worried at all at first. You know, they didn't think anything sinister had happened. They just figured she had gone over there. So she went over, knocked on. Neighbour answered. Nope, Mikelle was not in there. They hadn't seen her. So they come outside to help Kimber look. And this is when they found like the money for the ice cream strewn across the floor as well. obviously that panicked them then. They went inside, told her mother, that they once more could not find her. She wasn't at the neighbours, and that is when panic set in, because I believe Kimber even said that she recalls her mother's face just going white after that. So of course they ring the police, and the police really did jump on it. They were there straight away. Missing child came in and they were on it. They are out searching. They bring dogs in, sniffer dogs, straight away, and they do pick up Mikelle's scent. But the problem with that was they end up losing her around about where she was last seen, where her bike was found, because what the police then believed was that somebody had bundled her up into a car. So obviously they tracked her scent up to there, they got in the car, and then the scent was gone. The dogs lost it after that. So that was kind of a washover. They looked into, obviously they were waiting for an ice cream truck, so they looked into the people who were running ice cream trucks at that time. Now, bearing in mind it was winter, so there wasn't a lot of them, but the few that were, they basically ruled them out as suspects as well. And they then turned to the family, of course, like they always do. You know, sadly, a lot of these cases are done by family members, which is heartbreaking to even remotely consider, but it is. It happens. It's a sad truth of this world. But yeah, they looked into the family members, which was Darren and Tracy, obviously. Tracy was under the impression that Darren was in work that day. But he wasn't, because when she rang to tell him that their child was missing, she was informed that he wasn't there. So anyway, they go to find out where he was, and he says that he was actually at a friend's house. Now the police, they put him under suspicion straight away, because obviously they're thinking, well, he said to his wife he's in work, he's not. He's now saying that he's at a friend's house, but he didn't give much details on it. It was kind of like, I don't know, he didn't give them much, a bit sketchy. They thought his story was a bit sketchy. So they look into him a bit more, but finally, eventually... Oh, and he failed at a lie detector test as well, which I don't really rate those things. His daughter's missing. Okay, so say that he did not do this. He's going to be in emotional turmoil. So obviously he's going to be all worked up and stuff, and probably failed the test because of that. They did say that, basically. They said that he could have failed the lie detector because of the distress that he was under. And eventually he did admit that he actually was at another woman's house, which is why he lied. Finally, he was cleared as a suspect too. And that was after him being under police surveillance for an entire year. So, you know, they really did suspect him. Checked every avenue out they could, but, you know, believed he was not involved. And they just put the word out for Mikelle. They tried to do, I don't know, everything they could, but they just didn't have much information. There was no witnesses. There was no nothing. Apart from Kimber, who, well, she didn't even see anything. She just knows that 1 minute Mikelle was there, riding a bike, waiting for the ice cream truck, and the next she wasn't. No witnesses, no nothing. Not like a speeding past car that somebody had seen. Nada. So it was really, really difficult to find any information on this case. Eventually, they go down another avenue where they look into a suspect of a man who was called D. Blalock. Now, he was a part-time landscaper, right? And Mikelle used to take piano lessons in a house like across the street from him, and her best friend lived on that street too, I believe. So she was there quite a lot. They did look into him at the time, don't get me wrong, but he said that he was watching a football game in his garage, which was then corroborated by his wife. So therefore he had an alibi, and they had to go with that. But he did actually come back under the police radar once more. And this was when he violently attacked one of his neighbours. And when I say violently, he literally, I think he beat her. Basically tried to kill her and left her for dead. That was how bad it was. So now he's obviously a very violent man, and they start looking into him again. At the time as well, I didn't mention that the police did actually go around his house and have a look around for any evidence. They let them in and let them do that. So they didn't find anything. So obviously with that in the alibi, they didn't really think much of it. But now they're getting all this information that seems like much more of an aggressive man than he originally looked to be. So they go speak to his wife again, and they find out that actually She's very submissive in their relationship. And if she basically says no or goes, you know, around him or does something he doesn't like, he is very aggressive towards her. So she just kind of does whatever he wants and just says whatever he wants to, basically. She then did confirm as well that with regards to his alibi, she went out to give him a sandwich and he was in the garage, technically watching football, however he said. But what she never told police, because obviously she was probably frightened, was that she didn't actually witness him in the garage the entire time. She went out to give him the sandwich. He basically told her to not come in and go away and not disturb him again. And she did, because otherwise he would get mad. So off she went. So she cannot guarantee that he was in the garage the entire time, like Mikelle went missing. And then maybe he took her. I'm not saying that he did, just this is what the police were looking into. And obviously it's a potential theory. Maybe he did took Mikelle and then brought her back to that garage and the wife was told to stay away. And so she did, obviously. So that's just like a little theory anyway. But that's what they were looking into. Despite that, police didn't have any evidence to tie him to Mikelle at all, and so they couldn't charge him with anything. I believe the neighbour who he attacked and literally left for dead said to him, if you admit to whatever you did to Michaela, I will drop the charges against you with regards to what you did to me. And he claims that he's innocent with regards to Mikelle. Michaela? I called her Michaela before, didn't I? I apologise for that. I didn't mean to. That was a slip of the tongue. Mikelle. And he wouldn't admit it. So whether he did actually do it or not, who knows? But, you know, he's quite likely a suspect for it. Either way, this man is never getting out of jail. For what he did to his neighbour Susan, he got like 100 years in jail. So, yeah, he's not ever getting out. But it's believed that if he did do something to Mikelle, that probably he will never admit to it, because that could potentially put capital punishment on the table. And why would he admit to that when they have no evidence to tie him to it? And at the moment, he's just got life in prison. Well, just. I'm not saying that that's not bad, but obviously what he did, he deserves that. But he probably doesn't want the death penalty, basically. Oh, even Mikelle's parents went to go and see him to see whether he would admit to killing their daughter, but he basically didn't. He said nothing. They believe that at that point she was sadly deceased. And that basically he probably took her, killed her, and then hid her body somewhere. Who knows what he did? If it was him that did it. But someone did something, anyway. Then the case went cold for years because they had no information, no leads, no nothing. And in Wisconsin in 2018, this dollar bill was handed into the police because it actually had a note written on it. And it basically said, "My name is Mikelle Biggs, kidnapped from Mesa. I'm alive." So police were thinking, oh my gosh, maybe this is one of them cases where all them years later, this person has been put with somebody and they finally find out who they are or escape. But sadly, this was not to be the case. It was thought to be just a cruel, disgusting hoax because Mikelle wasn't even spelt correctly. They never got anything from this bill either, because obviously how many people have touched that money? Lots. Money passes through so many hands. They can't possibly get DNA off it and fingerprints, and basically said that it was definitely them that did it. So it was just put down as like some cruel hoax that somebody did, which probably was it, because Mikelle was 11. An 11-year-old girl knows how to spell her own name. So, yeah. I mean, if she was like really young, 2, maybe younger, 3, somewhere along those lines, maybe if somebody had taken her and changed her name or something like that or whatever, maybe she wouldn't know how to spell her name. But she was 11, she was a lot older, so that doesn't seem likely. And like I said, her family seriously, sadly do believe that she's no longer with them. In 2004, they held a burial service for her with like an empty casket. It was beautiful. They painted the colours that her favourite colour, I believe, was purple. They had these flowers on it. It was so lovely and just heartbreaking too. Now, her sister Kimber is, despite obviously all of these years passing, Kimber is in her 30s now. Mikelle would have been about 36, I think, now. She's made a Facebook page, you know, to try and get justice for her sister. She genuinely does believe that she's no longer of this world, like, you know, all her family do. Um, but she just wants to find out something and set up this Facebook page in the hopes it got a lot of, I can't remember what name she put it under first, but it got a lot of people interested and people commenting and things like that. So she changed the name to Justice for Mikelle, because she really does hope that there's somebody out there that knows something, and surely there must be, right? Surely there must be somebody out there who could tell them some information. So that's all we can hope in these cases, because it's been like 20 years now. More than, I say like 20 years, it's, oh yeah, it probably has about 20-ish, just a bit more. But there's nothing. We don't know what happened to her, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. But as of this moment, her case is unsolved. And that's all we have on this one. Thank you guys for so much watching. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for similar content. Anyway, that's all I have today on the case of Mikelle Biggs. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.